Coordinated, episode 240, Conferences that Grow Our Community.
Greetings, AP coordinators. Derek Cometa here, Senior Director, AP Coordinator Experience for the AP program and former AP Coordinator.
And I'm Karli Suge, School Counselor and AP Coordinator.
Thanks for joining us. This is Monday, September 9th, 2024. And speaking of dates, if you happen to be listening at your desk, you might want to have your calendar open for this one. No matter where you are, though, you are in the place to be to hear all the latest and greatest in the world of AP coordinators.
Let's get this booked. My calendar is ready. I am so ready. Let's get started. It's time to get coordinated.
Good morning, Karli.
Good morning, Derek. I'm ready, I really do have my calendar open. You know how I get excited about travel opportunities. Where are we going? When are we going? And why are we going?
Hey, nice to see you, by the way. And those are all very good questions. Before we get to the answers, can I rewind just a little bit? Sorry, I don't mean to dampen your excitement.
Oh, if you must.
So at the time of this recording, it's the beginning of the school year for most educators,
including AP coordinators and counselors. Shout out to my colleagues at schools all over the world. We're going to have a great school year.
I think so too. And part of what makes for a good school year are, as you called them, opportunities.
And what kind of opportunities, Derek?
The professional development kind. The kind where educators of all levels can connect, collaborate, and get inspired to be the best versions of themselves.
You mean like the AP annual conference that we just attended in July? Or the forum conference that's coming up in October?
Those are good examples, really good. But did you know there are even more options?
My ears just perked up. Tell me more.
Actually, let's bring in our special guest to share more with all of us. I am so excited about this. Joining the Coordinated podcast today, Director, Event Planning, our friend and College Board colleague, Ismael Ayala. Welcome to the show.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me. I have to admit, up until a few weeks ago, I didn't even know this podcast existed. Pretty awesome.
We are glad you think so. And yes, while this is the podcast for AP coordinators, I have a sneaky feeling that this conversation is going to be of interest to all educators.
I think you're right. Well, I hope you're right.
Let's start at the beginning.
The beginning. Well, College Board offers 4, we call them advocacy conferences, 4 conferences each year. These conferences provide education professionals from across the nation with a forum to share experiences and insights. At these conferences, colleagues also develop solutions and establish ongoing dialogue. The focus is on helping our African American, Latino, and Native students succeed. And to that point, each conference is targeted at specific segments of the education community.
Okay, good start. I like this already. I'm a counselor as well as an AP coordinator. I love helping my students, and I love this idea of having specific conferences. Can you tell us a little more about each? I do have my calendar ready.
All right. Well, speaking of calendars, let's take them in that order. First up, we have a Dream Deferred. This will be hosted March 5th through the 7th, 2025 in Los Angeles.
Ooh, that's an easy one for me to attend, right in my extended neighborhood. And what is a Dream Deferred?
Thanks for asking. A Dream Deferred welcomes education professionals working to make a difference for African American students. The conference is focused on the state of college readiness for African American students and provides a forum for sharing best practices, key data, and research. We're hoping to drive measurable actions that ensure access to opportunity. And Karli, there's a little more to share, something you might really like as a high school counselor, because when I was a high school counselor, I would have really enjoyed this too.
Okay, what is it? This already sounds so good.
The Dream Deferred Conference is held in conjunction with the Historically Black Colleges and Universities Conference, meaning two conferences in the same place at the same time. The Historically Black Colleges and Universities Conference is a 3-day professional development event specifically designed for HBCU professionals and advocates. The conference aims to assist in improving institutional effectiveness at HBCUs and provides professional development that will enable each HBCU to implement beneficial best practices on their campuses. With both conferences at the same place and at the same time, it's not an exaggeration to say that groundbreaking things happen when education professionals work to increase access and opportunity for African American students. It's quite inspiring.
That sounds amazing. Derek, I assume you're going to be there?
Absolutely. Last year was my first time going to this conference, and I concur. It is inspiring.
It sounds great. So that's 2 conferences out of
4. The next conference is also in the spring. It's on April 9th through the 11th, 2025. It's called Prepárate.
And where is this conference being held?
Denver, Colorado, a great city and a great venue. We can't wait. The Prepárate conference convenes attendees to discuss strategies to increase the preparation, access, and college completion of the fastest growing student population in our public schools.
Let me guess. The Latin American student population?
You got it. Prepárate highlights national models that are successfully preparing Latino students for college success. The idea being that the Latino K through 12 student population growth can be leveraged with the rich cultural history of resilience and succeeding against educational odds. Prepárate provides a platform for educators to present strategies that address the unique cultural and ethnic needs of this important group of students.
This also sounds amazing. And by the way, you had me when you said fastest growing student population. Wow. I'm marking these dates on my calendar as well. Derek, feel free to purchase my plane ticket anytime. Oh, never mind. We'll talk about it later. I think right now we have one more conference to learn about.
We do. And that is the Native American Student Advocacy Institute, or NASI. And that's June 4th through the 6th in Seattle, Washington. This conference assembles a dedicated community of educators and tribal education leaders to address the educational challenges facing Native students. We want to help galvanize and build national networks dedicated to improving educational outcomes for Native American, Alaska Native, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander students. The goal: closing the educational opportunity gap.
Ismael, while Karli's clearing her calendar for those dates as well, let's do a little housekeeping. Registration for these conferences is open.
Well, that all depends. Well, that depends on when someone is actually listening to this episode, right?
Right.
A Dream Deferred and HBCU will open for registration on September 25th, 2024, Prepárate on October 8th, 2024, and NASI registration begins on January the 8th of 2025.
Great. So we'll put links to all of that in the show notes. And there's one other related opportunity that we should absolutely mention because it's an important one.
Right. And I'm glad you remembered this. While we welcome and appreciate all educators who attend the conference, that's not all. We also invite you to submit a proposal to present at the conferences as well, because you are a vital part to sharing.
That's right. We encourage educators to share experiences, creative solutions, and insights. And you can do this by submitting a session proposal that showcases a program or partnership that has a positive impact on students. And we welcome proposals by all professionals in education. We know you are doing great work. It's time to show off and share it with the rest of the world. I can speak from experience on this one. I've done this before. I presented back when I worked at my former high school. The idea of presenting at a national conference might seem a little bit daunting, but the process is not. And I can truly say that it was one of the more rewarding things I did as an educator. I loved it, and I'm betting you will as well.
The call for proposals is happening right now. A Dream Deferred and the Historically Black Colleges and Universities submission deadline is September 27th, 2024. Preparate submission deadline is October 4th, 2024. And the Native American Student Advocacy Institute deadline is on October 28th of 2024. And we'll link to that information in the show notes as well. Right, Derek?
Absolutely. Ismael, thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. So great to have you on the show. And thanks for all the great information.
Thanks for the opportunity. And thanks to all the AP coordinators who do amazing things at their schools to help support these and all students. We ask that you share this information with colleagues in your schools and networks. And we appreciate you.
And Karli, I think we have maybe a few options for our coordinated call to action.
We do. Option and opportunity were key words today. 1. Please consider attending one or more of these amazing conferences. More information can be found in the show notes. 2. While you're at it, consider submitting a proposal to present. Maybe partner with a colleague. We are all doing great things at our schools. Time to share the knowledge and help as many students as we can. And 3, please, 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 as Ismael said, consider sharing this episode with your colleagues at school. Here on the podcast, the world pretty much revolves around AP coordinators, and for good reason. But this time, we're talking about impacting students all over the world. And as you know, powerful things happen when educators and students are, coordinated.
Thanks, everyone, for joining the conversation today. And thanks again to our special guest, Ismael Ayala. And thanks to you, Karli, as always. Hey, these advocacy conferences hosted by College Board, they provide a space to continue the rich conversations and share information that may be valuable in supporting diverse student populations. Please join us if you can. And please join us next week on the podcast. We'll be back to return the focus to our roles as AP coordinators. And we'll be talking about what's new, what's happening this fall, and what deadlines we need to keep in mind. A lot going on at the start of the school year, and we're here to help.
Until then, fellow AP coordinators, for all our continued support of AP students. Yep, our support. AP coordinators, we are truly good as gold.
And maybe I just don't know. I'll say it over and over and over again till I believe it's so. good is gold.
AP coordinators, despite your best intentions, did you miss out on the AP Coordinator Back to School Workshop?
Fear not. The Back to School Workshop is now available on YouTube.
That's right. And we have 2 on-demand videos available. One for new AP coordinators and one for those with a little more experience.
Or watch them both.
Great idea. Check out the show notes for a link to the videos.
Or you can go to collegeboard.org/AP Coordinator Experience. That's collegeboard.org/AP Coordinator Experience.
Get your popcorn ready. This is one more summer blockbuster you won't want to miss.